Hello all, I'm back with more research. Sorry for the hiatus, but as you know, life happens, and I've also been dealing with some microphone issues. Hopefully all that has been resolved and I can go back to posting more regularly. Today we're going to talk about a longitudinal study of friends with benefits relationships by Machia, Prolx, Eorger, and Lehmiller. It was published in the March 2020 issue of Personal Relationships, and if you'd like to read the article for yourself, check the description down below for a citation and link. And remember, if you like this kind of content and want to see more of it, like, share, and subscribe. Just so we're all on the same page, the authors define friends with benefits as a friendship with sexual activity added on, but without the implicit long-term commitment of a traditional romantic relationship. That said, it's not uncommon for friends with benefits to eventually develop romantic feelings, which may or may not be mutual. The key distinction between friends with benefits and traditional romantic relationships is that lack of expectation of long-term commitment. And it is that lack of commitment which can also contribute to a great deal of uncertainty. Roughly half of those who have a friend with benefits are unsure how to maintain their relationship or even what its long-term trajectory might be. In light of all this uncertainty, the authors were curious as to what constitutes a successful friends with benefits setup. Having a friend with benefits may produce desirable outcomes. It allows for relatively easy access to consistent sexual activity without the risks associated with frequent musical chairing between partners or the baggage associated with committed romantic relationships. However, to maintain these benefits, friends with benefits need to discuss the emotional, communicative, and sexual rules for their arrangement. But since a lot of friends with benefits feel uncomfortable discussing these things, it's unsurprising that the bulk of these arrangements fail to produce the long-term outcomes that the people involved in them desire. As such, the authors sought to determine whether people who have friends with benefits achieve the long-term outcomes they want, what factors predict transitioning into one's desired future relationship type, and what factors contribute to a friends with benefits arrangement changing form over time. The authors recruited a final sample of 192 participants with friends with benefits who completed the surveys at both time 1 and time 2. The average time between the two time points was 11 months, though the range was quite large. I'm not happy with that since it introduces unwanted heterogeneity in your time 2 data. In other words, the results for the people who only had a 4-month lag might be different from those who had a 21-month lag. That said, participant recruitment can certainly take a long time, and I wholly understand how much it simplifies things to just send out the follow-up in one giant batch, especially if you're under a time deadline. To measure desired future of the friends with benefits arrangement, participants were asked, how do you hope your friends with benefits relationship changes over time? They could respond, I hope it stays the same. I hope we become a romantic couple. I hope we become close friends who do not have sex. I hope we discontinue our sexual relationship and friendship altogether. Or they could write their own alternative desired future. Then, at time 2, the participants were asked what the current status of their arrangement was. They could say that they were still friends with benefits, they had transitioned to friends without benefits, they are now in a romantic relationship with the other person, or that they had completely broken off things with their partner. For those who had transitioned out of a friends with benefits arrangement, they were asked 12 questions as to why their relationship with their former friend with benefits changed. 3 items assessed communication, and 9 items assessed whether the participant's friend with benefits desired a different type of relationship. Satisfaction with the arrangement was measured using a shortened, modified version of the relevant subscales of the Rust Belt Investment Model Inventory. Participants completed the items for both the friendship aspect of their arrangement as well as again for the sexual aspect. I have no problem with them modifying the inventory to suit people who have friends with benefits, but I'm really not sure why they shortened it. The satisfaction and commitment subscales are already pretty short. Participants also completed 6 items related to communication about their arrangement, 3 about sexual communication, and 3 about friendship communication. As a general rule, it's not great to create your own measures since we don't know if they meet our admittedly high standards of validity. But if there isn't an established measure for what you're interested in, sometimes you have to make do with an ad hoc measure. That said, the authors did conduct an exploratory factor analysis, so we do have some evidence toward the validity of their ad hoc measure. A factor analysis is a statistical technique to analyze which items in your measure correlate with each other, and thus you can find out if your measure's components tend to track in the way you expect. In this case, their measure had the 2 factors they expected, friendship communication and sexual communication. Additionally, when you do a factor analysis, you can do it based on the assumption that your components are uncorrelated, also known as orthogonal, or correlated, which is described as oblique. For the factor analysis in this study, they correctly assumed that 2 factors would be correlated. And now results. Of those who wanted to maintain the friends with benefits arrangement, a plurality remained as such, though another sizable chunk had broken off relations entirely. Of those who wanted to transition to becoming just friends, a majority did, though some had no relationship of any kind. Of those who wanted to transition to a full romantic relationship, only a few did, with the plurality no longer having any kind of relationship with their partner. For those who wanted to break off relations, a plurality did, though the sample size in that one was quite small. And here's what happened to all the others. As to predictors, the authors conducted a series of logistic regression models. Logistic regression is a type of regression in which you use a continuous predictor to predict a binary outcome. Overall, commitment to the arrangement only predicted whether the friends with benefits arrangement transitioned into a romantic relationship. However, when the authors split that down into commitment to the friendship and commitment to the sex, commitment to friendship also negatively predicted transitioning to no relationship. And commitment to sex negatively predicted reverting to friendship. Satisfaction with the friendship positively predicted transitioning into a romantic relationship and negatively predicted breaking off contact entirely. Sexual satisfaction did not significantly predict any outcome. Both friendship communication and sexual communication positively predicted transition to a romantic relationship. As to the analyses regarding why people transition to whatever they transition to, they generally followed the previous results that state that people tend to get what they and/or their partner want. Additionally, a significant number of participants who had broken off contact entirely said that they failed to define their relationship and/or that they failed to communicate enough about their relationship. I think the main takeaway here is that people who have friends with benefits do tend to get what they want out of it, with the exception being those who want their arrangement to evolve into a full romantic relationship. That said, these results are merely correlational. We do have directionality here, but we do not have causation. This was also a convenient sample, and admittedly a fairly small one considering how many different groups the authors broke people into. I will also add that all sexuality research comes with a giant confound in regards to recruitment. Sexuality is a sensitive topic, and there are a lot of people who are sexually active, but do not feel comfortable participating in research about their sexual behavior. In the future, I'd like to see some work looking into comparing friends with benefits to other relationship types. How do friends with benefits compare to those in committed relationships in regard to sexual frequency? What about satisfaction? How does exclusivity impact the dynamics in the friends with benefits arrangement? Also, future research could look into some kind of communication intervention to hopefully improve long-term outcomes. Well, that's all for now. Please like, share, and subscribe. And if you've got a topic you'd like me to do a video on, or more thoughts on this one, let me know in the comments.